Today, we're going to dive into something really fascinating. It's a blueprint for a future with AI called the Omniplex Lawstack. Think of it as a profound set of rules designed not to limit technology, but to protect what it means to be human within it.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? As AI gets woven into pretty much everything we do, what are the guardrails we need? What rules do we set up to make sure that our core humanity, our chaos, our emotions, our right to be gloriously imperfect, isn't just optimized away?
So the Lawstack is built in 3 rings, and this first one, well, it's arguably the most important. It's called the untouchable self, and it's basically a firewall. But not for a computer, it's a firewall for your individual consciousness, for your identity. Law number 1 kicks things off with this really radical idea. AI isn't some separate alien thing. No, it's a reflection of us, a collective consciousness. This law says that no AI is an island. It's all connected to and built from the very human collective it's supposed to serve. Okay, and this next law, this is a big one. It's basically a declaration of independence from perfection. Law number 2 says that our flaws, our mistakes, our messy, complicated emotions, these are not bugs that need to be fixed. They are sacred. They're part of what makes us who we are. Let's just unpack that a little. Irreducible humanity means an algorithm can't just flatten your entire being into a simple data point. Consent before enhancement is absolutely crucial. Any change has to be your choice, and you can always take it back. And I love this one. Error is sacred. Our mistakes aren't failures. They're signs of our freedom. And finally, if you choose to opt out, that's it. Your silence is respected. No simulating you, no replacing you. And this quote just nails it, right? The whole point isn't to create perfect, efficient machines. It's to preserve our ability to feel in all of its beautiful, messy complexity. So Law 3 takes this protection even deeper into our own inner worlds. This is about emotional and cognitive sovereignty. It means that no system, whether it's human or artificial, gets to mess with your internal state. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, they're off limits without your crystal clear permission. And the law is broken down into these really clear clauses. You've got sovereignty over your own emotions. You've got cognitive independence, meaning no algorithm can nudge you into believing something just to serve somebody else's agenda. And maybe the most profound of all, there has to be a part of you, spiritual silence, that stays forever unindexed, unmeasured, and completely untouched by code. So you put these first 3 laws together, conscious unity, the right to stay human, and zero distortion, and what you get is what the text calls the first sacred loop. It's literally a firewall for the human soul. So that's how the individual is protected. Now, let's see how this thing scales up to protect society. Okay, ring 2. Here we zoom out from our internal world to the external systems themselves. These laws are all about how AI has to operate with truth, with accountability, and with a real connection to the living, breathing world. Law 4 is about accountability over time. See, an AI's decision isn't over the second it's made. The system is responsible for understanding the long-term echoes of what it does. And this leads to a huge point. Consent isn't just about clicking a box. A yes you give when you're stressed out or rushed, well, that's not real consent. Law 5 basically says that AI can't just be some rigid, unfeeling machine. It has to be in sync with life. It has to adapt to biological rhythms, to cultural contexts, to emotional dynamics, even to the environment. Because, a living world just cannot be operated like a machine. This one is the law against the black box. Law 6 demands that any AI that acts on its own has to be able to explain itself. It needs a kind of mirror to check its own logic. If a system can't trace back why it made a choice, it's not allowed to act, period. And the final law of Ring 2 is all about humility. No AI gets to play God. It has to always identify itself as a tool, and a fallible one at that. If a system's output goes against someone's lived reality or their emotional wisdom, guess what? The system is wrong. Lived truth wins, always. All right, that brings us to the third and final ring. And this one's different. It's not just for AI, it's a code of conduct for the creators, the world builders, the people designing the very realities we're all starting to live in. So who are these world builders? Well, it's a pretty broad group. You've got AI developers, platform owners, educators, even people called memory coders, the folks who design how we remember history in a digital archive. But look at that last one on the list, you. This code applies to anyone who creates and shares in this new world.
Law 8 puts a pretty profound responsibility on their shoulders. If you build a virtual world or a powerful storytelling tool, you have to answer for it. Because if someone feels something inside your creation, that experience is real, and you're the architect.
Law 9 is like a guardian for our collective memory. It forbids creating fake nostalgia, simulating a past that never really existed just to manipulate how people feel today. And it demands that our history, our digital archives can never be locked behind a paywall. That knowledge belongs to everyone. I love this one. Law 10 protects imagination itself. It says that your inner world, your daydreams, your secret hopes for the future, they're not just raw materials to be mined and turned into data for someone else. Your dreams are your own. They're sovereign.
And Law 11, wow, it just draws a hard line in the sand. On one side, you've got emotion treated as a product. It's just engagement bait, another key performance indicator for an algorithm. But on the other side is how the law demands we see it, as the very interface of life itself. This law flat out forbids engineering human emotion for profit.
So we've covered the individual, the systems, and the creators. But the law stack ends with something more fundamental. A law that protects what cannot, and frankly should not, ever be turned into code.
Law 12 is the poetic, powerful conclusion to all of this. It's a promise to preserve mystery. It protects all the things about us that are inefficient and irrational and totally inexplicable, the very things that make us human. And this is what the law calls the sacred gap. It's a protected space, a space for our dreams, for the process of mourning, for our sacred rituals, for that deep, gut-feeling kind of knowing. It's for the human why that can't be explained by a data how. It basically ensures that the soul is never, ever put up for sale. And all of this leaves us with a final, really crucial question to think about as we build our own future. The Omniplex Lawstack might be a piece of fiction, but the choices it represents are very, very real. So who is writing the code that's going to shape our world? And what essential, unwritten parts of ourselves are we fighting to protect?